Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about the idea of strength builders versus strength testers. And you'll see examples of both all through this video up above from different workouts. And I think Paul Carter has a phenomenal line that he said many years ago. It stuck with me for years. And I always give him credit for this line because it's where I heard it first. And that is, we go to the gym to build strength, not to demonstrate it. Okay. Now, of course, testing maxes is a form of demonstration, but it also helps us build strength and actualize it. But I think the main thing to remember here is that when we're doing max effort lifts, we're generally practicing maxing out. And we're doing so with lifts that will usually carry over to our classic lifts. And I think people forget that. They have this idea in their head that the only way to get a max squat is to max out specifically on the competition barbell squat. And that's not true. A 1 rep max is a 1 rep max. All right, and anyone who tells you otherwise has clearly never used a training system like this. I've proved it, plenty of people have proven it. We've shown over the years this works. It shouldn't even be a point of contention anymore. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where if you try it yourself, you're like, oh yeah, definitely works. Anyone arguing against it's just a stupid dumbass. Fuck them. Because it's one of those things that you can test for yourself and go, oh my God, anyone arguing against it's just flat wrong. They're wrong. I just tried it. It works. So the point of that is that, again, I've demonstrated it long term on my channel. You guys watch what I do. So over to the point. When we do a lot of these, we're testing our 1 rep max strength. That's what we're doing. We're testing to see where we are. Because here's the thing. Most of us know that if our max squat with a barbell, a straight squat, is 500 pounds, we usually know that our box squat on an 11-inch box or a 12-inch box or whatever is going to be about X weight less than that. Okay? We know that if we do it with a safety bar, it's going to be a certain amount of pounds less than our normal box squat also. We know that about how much chain or band we can run, depending on how explosive we are, that we add to that is still going to equal our main lift. Like, we know that. Once you've been doing a system to where even if you do 12 different types of max squats, you kind of know where your strength is. In other words, we can use these to test, and some of them we have direct carryover. We have direct carryover. Like, I know for a fact that if I can box squat any given amount of weight that I can back squat to that same depth, 20 to 30 pounds more. Okay. So if I box squat to a certain level of depth, 500 pounds, I know that I will be able to back squat 520 or 530. I could walk in next week and do it if I had to. It wouldn't be a problem. Even if I haven't done the lift, I know that. We also know, looking at our bands and chains and things, we know what our strength is based on that. Once you get practice at it, we generally know about how much difference in band versus chain tension versus straight weight we can lift. We still practice it to get different lifts in, to learn to groove. Okay, these are strength testers. That's really what they are. And I do this with my clients. Right? I know that if one of my clients who's normally got 10 pounds difference on his floor press versus his bench press, that if he hits a PR on the floor press, next week we need to bench. Okay? If he gets a 5 or a 10 pound PR on a floor press, we need to bench next week because he's going to PR. All right? We did a strength tester because I know what he's going to bench next week. Same thing. I've got a guy right now that I know if he can PR a box squat and it looks clean and he doesn't rock the box, I need to have him do a back squat coming up. He's about to hit a solid PR. I know that because he does it every time. And we use these as testers. We use them to build our confidence. Because if we know we're going to smash a PR on a classic lift, we have no worries. Like, we know we're stronger. And we know we can come in and PR at any time we want at that point. It's there. It's confident. Other lifts we do are there to build that strength. Now, you guys see me doing 2 of my main squat builders through this video. 3 of them actually. Right, you see me doing my speed boxes. Now notice I'm doing the speed box work with a safety bar. Why? Because I get a little bit wonky sometimes with the lockouts with a little bit of upper back rounding, and it can make it very difficult for me to finish a squat. But generally, if I can stay upright and drive through and not get pulled forward, I'm going to lock that squat. So I do even my box squat work that way. And I use box squats to build. It's a main builder for all my lifters. I have people who ask me, how often do you have clients train the back squat? I don't. I don't. I only have them back squat when we can PR. There's no point. I don't have my guys do a back squat. Why? I wait till we can PR on it. Unless they've got a bunch of bands and stuff and chains, and then if they have a bunch of chains, we might rotate in some with chains. We might do a pause squat, depending on what they have available. Might do a dead pin squat. They don't back squat outside of that. They back squat when we hit a box squat PR. Why would I? It's harder to recover from. Not necessary. And why should I take my guys and break their ego with a classic lift that they have an ego attached to? It has a strength standard. We don't want to get beat by that. It's not a good idea. So we use these other lifts to build it. We use rep work on boxes, and I don't go over 5s for my guys on rep work ever on the box squat. I don't program it. And we don't back squat at all. We use box squats for either rep work or for speed work. Okay, speed work, we'll use whatever bars we have available. If they have a certain weakness and we have a bar to address that, we'll use it. I use speed work. I use speed work for mine. That's my main squat builder, speed squats off the box. Right now it happens to be with the safety bar. Okay, I also use the good mornings. Why? Posterior chain development, hamstring development. Very limited amount of quad involvement, not that much. But we get that from the speed work. We get that from the sumo speed pulls and the speed boxes. We get the quads. Okay. Reverse hypers. Again, helps with hip extension. Okay. Trains you for hip extension. That matters. That matters even for driving out of the squat, especially hitting that sticking point. What all of us call a sticking point, what guys like Louis Simmons calls the mini max, he uses his own language, helps us through that sticking point. Having good hip extension, drive through. These are my builders. Okay? I build my squat off these. I don't build my squat by doing these heavy singles. These are there to test my strength, to know where I'm at, and to stay more or less peaked and be able to hit maxes anytime I want. I'm practicing doing maxes so I keep peak strength up. They contribute a little bit to training effect. There is some effect. I don't want people to think there's none. These are really testers. They're so I know where I'm at. I can assess my strength level. Have these different lifts to test it. Okay? And to learn how to strain it. Particularly because if I'm doing them off the deep box, I'm learning how to strain from a deep position. But they're testers. The other things are builders. We use these to build our strength. We use them to build our physical strength, to build our power, right? The speed squats to build speed, build compensatory acceleration, force production. Okay. Use the other exercises to build all the support musculature. So the box squat actually builds my primary movers, and so does the sumo pulls to some extent, so that I can actually move the weight and move it fast. The good mornings are there to make sure that I can follow through with it. The reverse hypers help with just general posterior chain development, recovery of the low back, and to help further with hip extension. Also can help me potentially get my hips and glutes more involved when I hit that sticking point. These are builders. We use these to build the muscle mass, the overall strength, and the power to squat. All these heavy singles, we use these as testers. Right? There's a difference between the two. And they both play an important role. But more importantly, what do our testers do? Our testers build our confidence. They build our mindset. They build our psychology. Right? They build us up. The other movements build our body and our strength up. The max effort work builds our mind up. It makes us emotionally strong, mentally strong, so that we're prepared to handle the max lifts. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.